Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another cast of the SMC 2023. My name is Opie Wrights. I'm here with my co-caster PoNoob, a classic pairing, I might add.
Howdy, howdy.
And of course, we have our wonderful host, Wrestler, here, picking up a lot of effort to make these casts happen. Thank you so much, Wrestler. Today, we have the first match of Group A between Miniorek and Adafheyesh. Miniorek, of course, placing in after got an automatic spot after winning last year's SMC, but did place in via the points that you get across the course of the year for placing well in tournaments. So earned his way here in multiple respects. Adafheyesh had to fight through the challengers bracket, I believe. On the other hand, so I think we're expecting a little bit of a favorite towards Miniorek, but Adafheyesh is no joke.
Yeah, it's not unexpected that either player is here. Of the people who had to go through the bracket, I think Adafheyesh was probably that top seed of the up and comers. This is not to be unexpected and should be a good match. We are going to be playing a full 16 games here in this round robin stage. The games, even after we've reached 9 out of the 16, might still matter for tiebreaker purposes. So we've got a lot of SpyParty here for you, and it should be of high quality.
Yeah, absolutely. These two players are killers, and of course, ties are allowed. This is the group stage after all. So we could go 8-8. There won't be any overtimes today. We saw plenty of those during the bracket stage.
Yeah, it's nice to see that like everybody's gotten to a level where nobody's stomping anymore. It's all just like yeah, it's good versus great. It's great versus elite. Let's go through the picks and bans.
Absolutely. So we do have Miniorek picking first, which means I believe that Adafheyesh gets to choose which side to start on. Miniorek bans Veranda, Adafheyesh bans Terrace. Then Miniorek restricts Tayen, and Adafheyesh restricts Aquarium. So two of the big, uh, occlusion venues, as they're called, restricted out here, but not banned.
Yeah, and we'll see with the picks later that Minirek will take Aquarium, which is restricted. Tayan will get singled. So they are good restrictions.
Yeah, and speaking of occlusion venues, our very first double is at Redwoods. So a very, very dynamic venue. Lots of mission density compared to some of the other 4 of 8s. You can get microfilm and statues, inspects done in one fell swoop if you are bold enough with a book cheese. So there's a lot of interesting plays a spy can make, but at the same time, the amount of things that the sniper has to split their attention between is a lot lower compared to other venues.
Yeah, we'll follow it up with Library doubled by Adafheyesh. That should, if things go to script, be very sniper favored. But if you're doubling Library, my suspicion is you have something that you're looking to do, particularly on the spy side, to be able to pull one. Beyond that, we're going to be finishing up with Aquarium, Courtyard, Moderna, and Tayen. And again, we will be seeing all of those no matter what this core line looks like going into the second half of this set. Again, we're starting off in Redwoods, which is a mean way to start off a SpyParty set. If you guys are ready, I'm happy to get us in here.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I think we haven't skipped a step. We need to do some predictions,
Oh, predictions, of
and
course.
PoNoob is the first name up, so I'll have PoNoob predicting first. Host authority.
Miniorek goes up, like say 10-3, and then drops the last 3 when they don't matter as much. 10-6 total.
um, in that case, I'm gonna go with maybe the more boring option. I'm gonna say it's a draw. I'm gonna say this one grinds out lots of sniper wins, and Adafheyesh finds a spy win, but Miniorek enters back late in the set for a draw.
Okay, so we both predicting a comeback. It's just the other. My comeback's already the person. It's not really a comeback. Let's stop talking. That's what all we're gonna do here today, and watch some Spy Party, which we can also do while talking. It's gonna be Miniorek as Spy on Redwoods as Queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, Queen's an interesting choice here. The height of characters on Redwoods is not as critical as it is on some other venues, just because there's a little bit less party blocking than there are on things like Ballroom or Gallery in particular. But Queen usually is a very nicely heighted person because you can hide behind a lot of people without being too, without standing up out too much because you're small, like Smallman does.
Yeah, I think that logic even goes to the extremes where Smallman feels like he should be good on a venue where you can like literally lose him within the trees. But actually, it's like the bug quality of the character matters more in Redwoods than you potentially expect. Minirek has nothing done and nothing to look forward to.
Banana bread.
Fake banana bread into split here is making a play of a situation that there really just wasn't anything going for him.
Yeah, nothing going on here. We've burned over a minute. We might be trying to frame Kane for a purloin. We did go straight to bar after that contact, and of course Kane does have, yep, framing for a purloin. We're getting this down to a 50-50 really fast. Unfortunately, that wasn't a real contact for our frame target, so it's going to be difficult. However, I don't think Adafheyesh has seen this yet.
Yeah, with Redwoods, this is also a fingerprintable drink, so we do have the option to finish here, despite the time wasting, and not even taking the flirt here. But with the way Redwoods works, you have to rotate over left in a lot of situations to see the purloin, and this is a fairly early purloin, and nobody's been to the bar except for Kane, so a fairly unexpected purloin. And
Yeah, I still
Adafheyesh
think
is a
this has
bit.
not been noticed.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do his highlights and lowlights as much as you see from other players. There is a cost to like lowlighting people, in that it takes away your attention from actually playing the game, sniping the game. Uh, but uh, if this goes completely unnoticed, it's up to Miniorek to actually finish, and he is making progress here with this flirt. Not gonna hit the green, so we have to do another one, and that actually puts a pretty big strain on our timer, adding an extra flirt while also getting what's going to be our fourth mission. If we get a print somewhere here, we get our flirt here. Contact?
I'm surprised that we pick up this drink. I don't think it's printable after the double agent. And interesting, we get marked as a high. Wow. Whoa. What happened here?
I'm curious if this is more I ran out of suspects. If Kane did something or did nothing of note, and it really was down to just like a few people on the purloin. Um, because the shot was relatively untimely.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially since it didn't seem like we were a big suspect based on laser movement. Like we were theorizing that Purloin might have gone missed for quite a while there. Uh, as it turns out, it might have been the exact opposite. Adafheyesh might have just been completely on top of it and ready to go once he thought that Miniorek had finished missions. Which, in fairness, if there had been a print on that drink and we had gotten real contact, we could have had mission completion there. I know that's a lot of ifs, but yeah, I think maybe just Adafheyesh was on top of that more. Either Adafheyesh was on top of that more than we thought, or a lot less than we thought, and only just now saw it and shot for it.
That would be very funny. And on game one, it wouldn't be too surprising. Both these players are quality snipers, but I feel if you're gonna drop a sniper game, doing it early would make more sense than ever. Still on Redwoods, but we're gonna swap sides for our sniper and spy. We're gonna see some Ada as spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right,
Good
hop into
old red
bar.
dress.
We do try to get our, go to bar because we see our ST going there. Unfortunately, bar space is taken up and she does redirect away. So there is going to be no flirt on this early bar visit. I doubt there's going to be a purloin either. We just do a reject.
Yeah. Thankfully, with visiting the bar with Redwoods, the bar is so small that people don't typically use the highlights for memorization there. They'll use them somewhere else. For example, picking up statues and doing the inspects. It's going to be much harder for us to do like a bug here, for example, with the highlight that we've picked up here, just for memorization on many part.
Yeah, an interesting start. Both spies so far on Redwoods not getting their first flirt until almost a minute in or more. Um, so it is pretty slow starts. We do, of course, have that single inspect, but that's not a full mission. You have to go back to either books, green books, or just do 2 more statue visits, so it's going to be very time consuming. We go for this bug. I don't think that's going to work out. Miniorek definitely saw that one.
Yeah. That was, oh no, the ambassador's inside me. I guess I'm already gonna get it credited for the bug, so I may as well bug. But it was just bad decision, compounded with bad decision. Adafheyesh is gonna eat the bullet there, and we're gonna move on.
Yeah, it seemed like Adafheyesh was timing that with the ambassador, but then triggered the bug super late. So I'm not sure exactly what went on there. But of course, Miniorek was on top of it. Very good bug catcher. And let's get on to the next set of Redwoods.
Yeah, let's do it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Did you just say go?
Go. I'm not
I
gonna say playing it every time. I'm gonna have some
I
mix-ups.
I
Can you
don't know how to
find?
talk to you.
Oh no. Okay. I was really confused what Smallman was up to. This is as far off pad as you could possibly be. Which actually
Yeah.
made the Florida statue look pretty natural, because the AI won't go to a spot where somebody's already standing. But because Smallman was basically off pad, we could actually be pretty much central, and like an AI would end up in that situation.
hmm I remember once I researched for a match against Yeesh, and he would often low light characters that went to the very edge of pads like that because
Yeah,
spies just
I
don't
taught
do
him that.
it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite techs. I'm retired. I can say these sort of things. Particularly on a venue like Gallery, where you just have so long to like get lined up, but you don't want to miss the pad, right? Because if you miss the pad, then you have to do a shuffle over or just walk away. Nothing good happens from it. Uh, yeah, the issue is if your opponents start watching your gameplay, uh, they'll start risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah. Munirek, 68%, 2 white flirts, but that's much better flirt progress than we saw last game. Only a minute and a half, and we do have quite a decent bit of progress. No bug here, although that would have been feasible with how the ambassador bounced around and how the trees were blocking vision there. Um, I think Adafheyesh wasn't in the right angle for it because we tried the same bug that Adafheyesh did last time, but it's much more effective with a lot of cover up. We time it perfectly, and look at that mini wreck. Looking like this might be a spy win very quickly.
Yeah, we still only have 90 seconds, but you can see the line here. We have a fingerprint. We can finish flirt basically whenever. It's really just the level of this purloin and who we purloin to. We can have a silent game though. That's what I've just lined up. Is that would actually revolve around not having to contact the double agent, and it's much less likely a shot happens if we do that.
Unfortunately, we do get our
Banana
briefcase
bread.
stolen here by Miss Ponytail. Minirek very frustrated about that, but did kind of take a sip and wait a little bit before going for that briefcase, which was not necessary. So, and if you think you're clean on that bug, you probably don't have to worry too much about your behavioral aspect of grabbing that print.
There is another print available. The ambassador is going to return the book here immediately. Uh, Going to the middle bookcase at the end of the game, while we haven't been to a statue, it's a fingerprintable book on Redwoods. It's about the most suspicious place that we could be, but I'm not sure we have another option without just like sending the purloin, which we're too late on now. We're gonna eat
Yeah.
the highlight. That's not a shot though.
There won't be overtime, so that's very valuable in this case. We might be we're the only highlight in this game, and we're very suspicious for it, but the bug just isn't seen, and looks like Miniork's gonna get away with this one.
Yeah, runs away with the book, doesn't want to be considered getting like 2 inspects. Just good logic there from Miniorek and making sure he doesn't break the animation or anything else stupid. Find an excuse for Ada to shoot him. Because I suspect with the only highlight in the game, he was top suspect and was able to pull it off despite that.
Yeah, and let's just take another look at this bug because it's very, very nicely executed, perfectly done. The wrong arm is away from the sniper because this is triggered during while Minorek's still in conversation, right before the ambassador leaves. That's when that bug actually gets triggered because we are in range to start a walking bug, and of course we know when the ambassador's going to leave because they are in too close to other guests, and you do have that countdown timer in the top left that's going to tell you how long until they just can't take it anymore and have to move on out. And there's only really one way for the ambassador to path in this case. So everything is set up perfectly here for Miniorek, executed perfectly, and that leads to a spy win.
Yeah, if Checker wasn't trying to build a competitive game, he probably wouldn't have put that bar in, and he wasn't. So it's one of those things like we could just time it out, right? Like you could just go, okay, the ambassador's gonna leave because he showed up 10 seconds ago, whatever the timer is. But since we have the bar, it makes it possible for these very precise plays, particularly revolving around bugs. That's a win on Spy on Redwoods. Not to be too unexpected, but to keep it even, we do need to see a spy win on the return. To be more Redwoods here in 3, 2, 1, Vominos.
I okay, just calm, Opie, calm.
Okay, so Vominos means we go in Spanish, Opie.
Yeah, I understand what it means. It's just not. It's
Whoa!
not. It's oh.
Adafheyesh has stolen the book and is now facing backwards, so the book is hidden using his body. What a play!
Yeah, it's one that we've seen before in the past, of course, but Redwoods in particular does have a really nice setup for it because you don't have to go too far to get into a conversation that's going to hide the book. And we have picked a very nice character for it because even when we're idling, it's going to be down at our left side here, and that's pretty well obscured by like everything about this is making it very difficult to see this book.
Yeah, Opie, remind me because I think it's right around the time that you were playing for bookmarking. Do you have an idea when that was removed?
Probably about a year after I started playing, maybe a year and a half. So it's been a minute, like probably 4 or 5 years at this point.
Yeah,
Um, so it's been a
back in my day, you try and low light people, highlight people,
Banana
and you
bread.
just end up marking the book. Uh, Thankfully we don't have that anymore, to be honest. While the mechanic was nice in that it would save you a bit of memory. I think it was more hassle than it's worth. In this case, Adafheyesh is just hoping that the book, not even unmarked, just unseen. We're going to red, and we don't actually have any inspects. Here, we took the green out so quickly that we never did get one statue.
mhm.
Now Queen's ruining our day. We went with the left statue here, so we can go back to the bookcase that we've already been at to finish inspects if we want to.
We did pick up a highlight. We don't have real. We had a really nice. We were kind of talking over, it, but there was a really, really wonderful. Oh wow. Oh no, Adafheyesh. The
That's a
cheese delegate away from the bar, and Minirek just shoots for it.
yeah. That's a technical shot if he's shooting for the cheese delegate. But given that we did also do a big old hardtail to start this match, I'm curious. It would be nice to pick Manirek's mind about which of the two things he was truly really shooting for. But yeah, we did one and a half things and we got shot for it. Welcome to
Yeah,
Spy
I
Party.
mean, so when you are properly rejecting, you're supposed to leave when Toby touches the glass. Um, and that is when all AIs leave. But instead, we are of course facing away as Toby touches the glass, and Minirek just is someone
Oh
who
yeah,
pays attention to that.
yeah. The animation for Toby was completely broken. Uh, let's go to the library.
Go to library.
We'll have to whisper or something. It's gonna be any 5 of 8. We're gonna do 5 missions these days. Uh, compared to
5
4, I think,
missions.
on
Ugh,
everything else in
that's
this
so many.
pick ban. Wait, we don't have any like random balconies that snuck in, right? Yes, do some library. 3, 2, 1, playing it. And we're playing Big Boy Taft, Monopoly Man himself. Get out of here, Miniorek.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. It's a little bit slower than I like my cheese. A little bit more aged, but it still works. We are the fastest character in the game. We get our first flirt at 51%, and we are out of there. Now onto the right side of the venue where the ambassador is not. However, Toby's over here, so the attention's going to be kind of split right now.
Question for you, Opie. Is Taft the best character on library? He's
Uh,
fat. He's fast. He blocks statues, and it's the venue where your mediocre bug animation matters the least.
I'm not sure about best, but he might be at his best on library.
That's correct. Yeah. Maybe Aquarium. Aquarium's also a venue where having statue blocking helps, and your bugs don't matter. We've finished our flirt with 2 greens and 45 seconds into the game. We've got a book. This is faster paced than we see from some of the top players. Adafheyesh, the Robs of the world don't really get to these
And in the red.
positions where they've done 2, potentially 2.5 missions with so much time on the clock. This is healthy as long as we haven't picked up the suspicion. I don't see why we would have. These are the 2 quietest missions. Quiet being a weird word to use for
despite the fact,
context, but
yeah, despite the fact that contact is the only one that makes noise if you do it right.
but what's the best word for it? It's oh, we're standing over the briefcase with a book. Huh.
we
Yeah,
are
yeah.
doing some etiquette to try to get a low light, I guess. I do like, by the way, having a green book in particular, because of the thing we mentioned earlier about how the ambassador and Toby were on different sides of the venue. There's going to be a lot more attention split between the left and the right. When you're thinking about library, if they're if they're both on the same side, of course that side's going to get the most attention, but the middle section there is going to get the second most attention by virtue of being nearby. But when you're jumping between left and right, that middle section can fall out a little bit, and that's where those green books are. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this going back into the wrong bookshelf, or it might even be a
Whoa.
cheese. Oh, it's a cheese.
Whoa.
I think it was seen though.
Yeah, that was on camera. The laser is lining it up, and there comes the shot. I am curious if that was considered necessary.
Yeah, I don't think it was, honestly. I mean, especially since Toby is all the way over here on the left, you're expecting pretty frequent um like checks over to the left here. So I would be surprised to I'm surprised we tried to get away with that. And unfortunately, right at the same time as we went to start this cheese, the ambassador did start walking towards us, which we did see. So we could have aborted the idea, but it would have taken some, a moment to just like really quickly just say, no, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to regularly, return this normally into the wrong bookshelf, which I think would have been more
Yeah.
effective.
I mean, the real issue is even like something small, like the watch check at back window, really reminds the sniper that you exist. Like if Adafheyesh checked to see if the time went up when we did the watch check, it makes it so much less likely that we're going to get away with this particular type of microfilm, just trying to stuff it in there. Library's hard though. This wasn't to be unexpected. Let's see some more of it in 3, 2, 1, Vominos.
I'm going to start taking over these countdowns if you keep doing this to me.
You can try. Okay. Do we have 5 heads? No.
Okay.
Kane's holding a 2.
Oh, look at this. This
Venus.
was seen. We get many, many lowlights here.
Yeah, so
Wow.
5:05 on the clock is a bit suspicious. That is more than our allotted time. And while we haven't highlit the spy, while we haven't low-lit anybody who wasn't at window, library doesn't give you that much freedom. Just anybody who is on camera when the time ad occurred has eaten a low light. If you're looking at the bottom of the screen, you can see it looks like it's a good 5, in addition to the cast.
Yeah, and that's painful, especially on a game this long. And if you're time ending early on, you're probably trying to play a relatively slow game, and those lowlights are just going to really eat into your potential to win this game long term. Very nice catch by Miniorek.
Yeah, it accumulates. Like if we were to do the contact right now, we do have the option. The DA is in our conversation, and you give another 3, another 4 lowlights. We are quickly at a point where it's going to be you and Smallman.
Speaking of
Like,
another 2 lowlights, 3 lowlights, Miniorek just lowlighting for pathing all over the place. I just saw 3 happen in the last 10 seconds. So look at this party. We have exactly how many suspects? I'm looking at 8 suspects out of a party of that is normally what 21 minus 4, 17. We're under half the starting party.
I'm surprised Blink Twin didn't get a low light there. Uh, I don't truly understand what Minirek considers to
Mm.
be good passing versus bad passing. I think it's mainly bounces, but uh, there's AI who are just getting way too much attention, literally just walking around. Because what else are we going to be watching? The ambassador is safe. Toby's on screen in the middle, and we've got like actually 7 people. Yeah, this highlight twin is either incredibly suspicious or incredibly non-suspicious, depending on how you
Oh,
feel
picking up a
about
highlight. We
pathing.
did try to shuffle closer to the ambassador to get in bug
How
range.
how did you take your eyes off that bug? Also, how did that bug not stick?
It was a
No
walking bug, unfortunately.
no value gained here. We have no mission completion, and it's such a tough spot, right? Like you could argue that if Adafheyesh tries to finish, he's gonna get shot, like 100%. But
Yeah.
what are the percentages for like a civilian shot when we have everybody low lit?
Yeah, it seems like this game is all but over in favor of Minirek. It would take quite the miracle to get Adafheyesh out of this one. Maybe a bump or a bounce that Minirek finds to be very AI-like, gets us a low light, and we finish from there. But it's just so difficult.
I'm gonna pull out the secret tech. You never know that you're in this situation, but the real tech here is to purloin and then dance, and this doesn't make any sense because you only have 1 mission completed. But if you can force your opponent to try and shoot you while you're hiding behind people, while you're hiding behind the pillars and stuff, and if they feel obligated to try and shoot you and not make you look like the most absolute foolish person in the world because they have a mission count on you also, uh, I think that's better percentage than trying to complete missions fairly, and it might honestly be a better percentage than having a random civilian shot based on the information that we have. Obviously, Ada doesn't know that the majority of the party is low lit, presumably.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get a feeling based on sniper laser movement, but it is a bit difficult at times, especially when it's for something like this, for like so many pathing lowlights for that early time ad. Adafheyesh might know that they were caught on the time ad, but I don't know about the rest of it.
So
I'd-
Adafheyesh gets into this conversation. It's potentially going to line up a Purloin, but it's one of those
Uh,
things where like we didn't have a tell, like we didn't have that bounce that I would have expected in that situation if it
mhm.
was an AI. And even Minirek, who's mainly just taking it for lowlights, is probably just noting these things at this point because there isn't anything else for him to note.
Do we notice
It,
where this briefcase is? By the way, it's I've never seen it there before. We get shot. I'm sorry. I got distracted a little bit by the fact we tried to swap a statue, we died. That was to be expected in this game. But look at where this briefcase is by the end of this game. It is solidly inside like a cabinet.
yeah, we put it down there. It's the spy's fault. Uh, this is
Uh,
the exact situation I'm talking about, by the way. If we had just like tried to dance behind the double agent, I think we take what is a 0% chance and increase it to a 1% chance.
that's interesting. Hmm.
Even though that's our 3rd mission and there's absolutely nothing that's going to come from it. Um, there are positions where doing really really stupid things uh increases your chances of winning but only when you are confident that your chances of winning are so incredibly low that you can do stupid things.
Yeah, it is definitely concerning. Um, if if you're Adafheyesh and you're really considering, do I have to dance to have my best chance at
Dude,
winning?
well, it's I mean it's the same thing with like doing 3-time ads. It's like cool. It only is good if it works, and it shouldn't work very often. But like once it works, then uh you're increasing your chances of winning. If your chances of winning were incredibly low. Library, more, go, 3, 2, go, go.
You didn't even go to one this time.
No, we're gonna desync, and it's gonna be funny.
This is chaos.
Don't give me the
But
controls. We have 3 people inside the ambassador, including the ambassador.
all right, that's how I like my cheese, sharp. What's a sharp
34%.
cheese? Cheddar.
Uh, d- cheddar can definitely be sharp. Yes, classically. Yeah. So the game started off with I'm gonna say salmon and wheels were both inside the ambassador, which meant we had the full opportunity to do a 34% flirt, which is probably like the 6th thing on the list that you have to watch for unless you're David W. Is chaos flirts. So we've gotten value. Congratulations, you've now spent 40 seconds and are in a conversation with a double agent and nothing else.
Yeah, when we do these cheese flirts, one of the big things is that you go do something else with that time that you would have spent timer flirting, and we have not done that in this case.
Yeah, and I understand because if you get through this set, or if you've ever played a set with someone like Adafheyesh, who's just incredibly solid, doing things gets you shot. Ooh, 69%, nice. But even when pros just watch these sets that other people are doing and seeing the success that doing things results in wins, results in just pressure on your opponent throughout the set. And then we always come back to people just not seeing and taking the opportunities that are provided to them. So yeah, we're a minute and a half in. We have a nice level of flirt. We can finish our flirt
We did just
whenever,
tease to be
but
next to our ST instead of across the conversation, so a
yeah,
nice
but
little.
we're just getting baited by the fact that our seduction target's in conversation into doing nothing else.
We do have a potential for a
Banana
bug,
bread.
perhaps with this contact. We could just try to wrong arm across the ambassador here, but we don't go for it. We do just have that contact and that seduce, and that contact let off quite a few lowlights, unfortunately, because a couple of people split from our conversation right as that went off.
Yeah, and then there were also the lowlights on the other half of the party too. This is gonna be a tough finish without, say, adding time or finding something really cheeky. Uh, the issue is with the contact done. Like, we're not gonna get 2 missions with like a contact purloin. Really, the only way to get 2 missions done quickly would be inspect swap from middle statue, and that's a bit of a
Wasn't the
novice play at
ambassador
this point.
at? Wasn't the ambassador at a center statue, at the right center statue? We could finish missions there right now. Just to consider it.
I hate this path, by the way. This is like the most spy thing you could do after doing this briefcase is just going to somewhere that you can stand and figure out what you're gonna do next.
So we don't try for that fingerprintable statue, at least not yet. I would have loved to go there immediately and just test the sniper, say, I've got 5 missions done now. Shoot me. It's
He went
there's a
back
minute and
to
40
the
left on the
same
clock.
place.
We do have a timeout on the board here from Miniorek, recognizing that if we're not taking that center statue, we do need some more time.
Is that Duke? No, that's side statue. Good for him. Uh, if somebody else goes and picks it up, I would consider that unfortunate, but it might actually be a blessing. If we are at a point where Miniorek, currently not a highlight, goes and picks up a difficult fingerprint, does that change the calculus?
I mean, I think it does. Well, one thing is that if another character is going to that center statue with a print, and we go there after them, finish prints, finish inspects, and get the swap off as if it could be green, it would be a very difficult shot to take for Adafheyesh.
Yeah, you're kind of risking it on like the statue animation at that point. You want to be able to swap where they're not going to be able to see the animation. I don't think we're going to see that just because it doesn't look like anybody wants to go pick up that statue. We're going to have to be the ones, assuming Miniorek knows it. He's a good enough spy to know it, but we haven't seen him like looking over at the statue on a regular basis. I'm not actually confident he does really clock this statue with fingerprint. Moment of truth. Prove me wrong, Miniorek. No, he's just chilling at Windows. By the way, AI do not go to Windows this often.
I mean, this particular spot at Windows.
No, just Windows and like genuinely, window pads are just not the AI's favorite place in the world, and
I
we've done
mean,
it like
we
5
also
times.
have been to that particular.
Oh, this
aspect.
exact spot like 3 times. We've been to.
Yeah.
This is a time ad instead of purloin. That feels like a action priority. This feels like a shot coming. That purloin was on screen, though thankfully green. Yeah, Miniorek does not want to pick up the statue or is not aware of the fingerprint that you said existed.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. We
There's
tried.
not much to say here. It's like I'm not sure what we were trying to do after the bug, but it wasn't AI-like, to say the least.
No. Going back, it looks like the
The
print was
intent of
actually
the
on.
bug, it happened a second after the purloin. There is a world where we do get away with the bug, if it's if they're watching the fade of our own crime.
I did go back and check. The print was actually on side statue. However, the same thing could have been done just slower. Although the complete at one pad was not quite there.
Yeah, adds up. Yeah. What is our score at the moment then? 7
I
snipers and 1 Miniorek spy for 5-3 or 4-3?
5-4 or 4-3. Yes, that's right.
That's what I said. Let's play some more library in. I can't do Spanish counting down. It's pathetic. 3,
Tres,
2, 1.
dos,
Playing
uno.
it. I hope you guys caught that.
I I did catch that.
Tres, dos, uno. Vámonos. Okay. Dude, I've done Spanish for 9 years, and the idea of counting down in Spanish is actually miserable for me.
I took Spanish for like 2 classes in high school, and I could figure it out. And
Well, no, I can do it. It's just like I can count from 1 to 100 like it's the alphabet. Counting down, it's like doing the alphabet test backwards, like the classic like, hey sir, are you drunk? Get out of your car and do the alphabet backwards, and you just see people like who are able to just do it because they've memorized it.
yeah,
Yeah, counting down shouldn't be a skill. And it probably isn't a skill. I'm probably just really pathetic. 51% flirt. We have a bunch of little arrows near us, including Toby and the ambassador. So I don't expect too much to be happening. I was actually kind of curious with a map like Library, where the more casts that are near you that allow you to do missions, the less likely you are to be doing missions. At least with 3 minutes still on the clock.
yeah. We are just at Windows again. We've seen a lot of spies at Windows.
Einspy dry would be dry. Eins. Oh, I literally can't just say the 3 words in the opposite order. It's too hard. We got a white time check. We are still in legal amounts of time. We haven't done the classic go over 5 minutes, which I think was part of the spies failing previously. And the text is still green. I think this is a big thing that people don't necessarily explain to others. When the text goes from yellow to green, or God forbid, red to yellow, the time ad's just a little bit easier to catch when it's a white time ad.
That it is.
I hate when ambassadors in this corner, by the way, just as far away from the party as possible.
It makes it very hard to do
What?
things as spy. Yeah.
Well, one for the obvious reason, which is you're not going to be bugging him anytime soon. Sorry. But also, it's like the safest place for the ambassador, who you just want to always be in peril. No matter what the situation is, you're as a spy, you want like every single person in the party be credited with a bug. Ah,
Ooh, wow. That hit? That was
bad
that
news.
it used that
We are
R?
highlight for the purloin.
Yeah, very bad.
Good news, we've got the bug. I don't think it's a fair trade. I think
No, it's down
we
to
are in
2.
trouble.
This is very, very bad, and I think Adafheyesh might have been able to recognize that. That laser movement was very, very particular about all those lowlights.
Oh yeah.
Although, if it's going to be a fingerprint finish alongside contact and flirt, we still might be able to get away with this, despite the fact that everyone is low lit because we have that bug.
Yeah. So this is a really awkward spot where SpyParty usually doesn't have situations where everybody knows everything. That's actually like very much not the case. The only hidden information here, as far as I can tell, Adafia should know that the lowlights have occurred. They should know that the purloin has been noted, and obviously the sniper knows that the purloin. The only hidden information here is the bug. Miniorek, however, is not a sniper who's super particular about mission counts. He's willing to just shoot spies. And so I think if we pick up another fingerprint, if we are a real contact, these are things that Miniorek, unlike some players, maybe even still in the tournament, who are just like, I'm gonna do all my counting, will probably still take the shot. Um, I also have a high suspicion that Adafheyesh isn't like super likely to try and frame Twin here, which he's neutral light, by the way.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Minirek got bored of Twin, who's just been in this conversation talking for like 2 minutes while we've been running around, not doing AI pathing tells.
I don't love the fact that we are sitting here in range of potentially going for briefcase. I think that path was too the ambassador was not far enough away for this briefcase to be
I
taken,
agree.
and so this is very, very, very spy-like. And I think Minirek is like 99% certain about who the spy is right now, and is just waiting for that contact.
Yeah, let's do the count. So he should know that Flirt's done. He should know that Print's done. He should know that Purloin's done. Um, the other 4 missions, the ones that aren't done, Minirek should be confident that we don't have, and so the only one that's up in the air is Bug. This is a good hold, no matter what information I think Minirek has. And this should be a shot, especially with the white test. That's not helpful at all.
Banana bread.
No!
Oh!
No!
It does result in it being a fake for us and a
Oh
real for Twin.
no!
That path is not legal. Green timeout here is not
Oh
helpful. And we stopped moving. The biggest crime. If we kept
no!
moving there, maybe the shot saves us for another 5 seconds. But
Oh no, that's terrible.
has there been a situation this set so far that Adafheyesh has felt even close to finishing it? I don't think we've gotten into mission
That
win
was close to
countdown.
finishing.
No, no. We are one to highlight with 21 lowlights, and we have
Look,
not in mission
when
win
you said
countdown.
finishing, you didn't say winning.
Oh no, we're not even. If the second half of this set goes like this first half of the set, the one spy win that Minirek has is gold.
Yeah.
Because the situations that we're finding ourselves in, if ourselves is the royal ourselves, and I actually mean Adafiesh, um, these are just awful spots. It's just okay. There's a ton of lowlights. We're getting caught out. It's not like we're getting shot for like early tells. Like we're not trying to make plays. We're just ending up in some rough positions consistently. We do have some interesting venues coming up, and they are going to be singles. So let's see them. But I'm going to need something else from Adafiesh because right now Minirex got his number.
Yeah, and this is a Minirex pick of Aquarium, and it's something that Minirex has excelled on ever since it released. I think actually Minirex joined after Aquarium was released. So ever since Minirex joined, this is something
No,
that
that's
Minirex
the
has
way to do
excelled
it.
on.
It's so much easier to come in to a game and then have to deal with things. Someone like Slappy Davis, who's been part of the competitive community for as long as it's existed, basically, still is uncomfortable with briefcase. And for you who came in and fingerprints were just a thing, and anybody after you, which is basically everybody in this tournament, basically everybody in the competitive community, uh, fingerprints just a way of life. So and I think that's very much true in Aquarium. Everybody who thinks that shark dodging is a normal thing are Zoomers. But let's
I'm an
get
old head
let's
now.
get
Oh no.
let's get yeah, we're old heads. Deal with it. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Alice, uh, still my favorite character. Don't tell anybody.
I won't. I won't. It definitely
Dude,
matters because you're not retired and you're definitely going to play in more
I'm
tournaments.
definitely gonna play more, and I'm definitely not gonna just pick Alice every single time I play Library.
This
Don't
is
worry about
very
it.
interesting. This was a very high suspicion bookcase that we were just at.
Was
3
it
people
actually
at
3
it.
of books?
It
That's a
was
Wii U
actually
for
3
me,
at
buddy.
book. Well, there was a bug fixed for bookshelf pads that made 3 at books legal.
Oh, I mean, so 3 of books has always been legal. It's just like kind of everything about it. If you're camping, they're doing like 2 missions. They're potentially doing microfilm, they're potentially doing flirt. If you are behavioral, they are definitely doing flirt, and they're making an active choice to be at 3 a bookcase.
mhm.
And if you are etiquette, the like positioning, which is the thing that's potentially changed a little bit, especially with like the big bug fix for like you can't be in the front half of bookcase, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Makes it a bit easier to have 3 people a bookcase, but it's still like you still don't want to be on other people's toes. The AI
Yeah.
still have some sort of decorum.
Well, some sort of decorum. Actually, bookcase is probably the most sensitive pad in the game for standing on other people's toes. Conversations, other statue pads, not nearly as sensitive as far as how easily you can redirect someone off of them. Bookcases, very, very, very sensitive, and despite the fact that that bug did get fixed, and for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there used to be a bug where you AIs could not occupy the front half of a bookcase pad, which made all AIs just bounce off them really, really easily because it was half the pad that you saw visually. Um, that has since been fixed and is a bit more forgiving, but it's still the most sensitive pad in the game.
Yeah. To note, we got a more classic conversation. How the heck do you slap a book twice? We've gotten the green microfilm, and it's in our pocket. If we're gonna complete this mission, we need to go
And
to
in
the
the
blue
red.
bookcase. Aquarium is the best venue, I would say, to be able to have an opportunity to complete the second half of this microfilm. We can confidently do it behind the shark. The problem is the sniper can also confidently know that we're up to no good, especially if they remember that we were at the green bookcase at the beginning of this game.
That is correct. We do step into bar here. It will be
Okay,
fingerprintable by the time it gets to us.
that's a legal path, but I hate it. It's AI would never just straight line it like that. I mean, they will. That's why it's a legal path, but it just feels like that's a fingerprint and a half, and it will be half a
It
fingerprint.
is.
I think the delegate reject here is the play, but we've already seen a shot from it the other direction when Miniorek was the sniper. I don't want to pick up this. I hate picking up this drink because we're not finishing
We just
fingerprints,
don't
are
have
we?
time. We just what is our microfilm doing in our pocket now? If this is what we're doing with our time right now, this is, we've mentioned Slappy a couple times, uh, and one of Slappy Davis's favorite concept is coherence, and this is not a coherent game at all. We delegate and we just die.
And we were going for the microfilm, like going and taking one microfilm and then just rejecting it. Uh, Not necessarily a good idea, but it's a very common thing that we see. Just because you get into a position where it's like, no, this isn't reasonable. Um,
I think we just
unless there's
spent too much time
was
flirting.
there no, there wasn't a fingerprint there. We just took a random fingerprint.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
all just didn't add up.
Yeah, and Slappy Davis is honestly one of my favorite people to talk to about this game, and one of the best theoretical players, and has a lot of thoughts about how the game should function and how the game works. Doesn't always execute them on them as strongly, so is not the best competitive player. Still pretty good, but not top level like these guys. But Slappy Davis talked about coherence, and that means like how all of your missions play into each other, everything kind of meshing together during your game. And we see in this game, we have half fingerprint, we have half a microfilm. We're trying to, I guess, finish microfilm. We delegate near the end. We just don't have enough time for any of these actions. And it started off pretty nice. We got an early flirt and an early microfilm, so we had a very good baseline for a game going forward. But time just got away from us, and Miniorek takes the bullet.
Yeah, there is the opposite side of it where if you start and play every game where you're like, I'm gonna do flirt, I'm gonna do contact, I'm gonna do my 2 other tells, you start to look incredibly predictable. But when you're just doing extra tells, you're in this case the extra fingerprint. When we're gonna if we didn't get shot here, we're gonna get shot for the gulp. Like we
Yeah.
just have a drink in hand that we can't handle. So yeah, let's see more Aquarium. This is, I think, one of the big ones. Adafheyesh needs to get a spy win. I think this is the best opportunity. However, this is Miniorek's pick. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Vominos.
Well, Miniorek is very good as sniper, but it is still Aquarium, and there's a lot of opportunities for a strong spy. And Adafheyesh at their best is one of the strongest spies. I'm really really impressed with Adafheyesh spy when he starts getting into moving around, doing things quickly, taking these creative plays that I know are there, but don't always express themselves during any given set. So we do pick up an
Speak more to
early.
it. Is it decision making? Is it being able to react to the party? What jumps out?
I would say it is that decision making and like how the missions are constructed throughout the game,
Mhm.
and finding these creative ways to get to mission win countdown. We haven't seen a huge amount of that this set. And it's been mostly more standard gameplay, but Adafheyesh at his best does find those opportunities, does find that that strength in their spy.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Rob and Minirek, and we'll see. Rob has had a decent amount of success on the other half of this bracket. Minirek has made finals recently and will continue to make finals as far as I can tell. The thing that I love about their spy is their ability to just click the button when like the ambassador's nearby. They just have these like quick reactions. The decision making uh, can leave me a bit perplexed sometimes. Where you're like, that's not the right choice. Um, or like you should be doing more. You should be doing something. It's nice to see just a solid decision making. Just the rock in the rock paper scissors type of
Indeed.
meta.
We do see us getting a delegate here. We still have half the inspects. Starting to feel a little bit like Miniorek's game last game, where we have this early progress. We're not even a highlight for it either, um, and we need to find a way to make that happen.
Yeah,
What?
half inspects on this venue are valuable.
Yes, because we do always have that threat of a bit of a shark walk
Yeah.
alongside inspect swap.
The issue is we need to finish flirt
Okay,
relatively
we
time.
take a
This
bug.
is
It's very
a
very
highlight.
clear. We pick up the highlight, of course.
Yeah, that wasn't clever.
No,
We were talking about decision making. That was, I'm feeling like I have 90 seconds left in this clock and I haven't finished a mission yet. Now
there
I
goes the
finished
purloin.
2. But the timing was off, right? Like if the purloin happened with the bug, then sure, I'll reward you for your cleverness. But that was a bug with a 15-second gap and a purloin basically as a confirmation of that bug.
Yeah, and I was gonna say sometimes like, against these really strong snipers who are very very good at catching bug, sometimes what I have found to be the most effective is actually just going for the simple bugs, going for like the obvious things. As long as they are well executed and hard to see, they can be really really hard to for high level snipers like this to kind of they have to credit it and be like, ah, well, it could have just been an AI because that wasn't clever. Because AIs aren't clever about how they path around the ambassador. Spies tend to be.
Yeah.
So those kind of simpler bugs can be very, very effective. unfortunately, we did do it at a time where we were kind of confirming our identity after this, and it was a little bit too coincidentally timed with the shark. There's a lot of things that played into the fact that Miniorek took that shot, and that means that Miniorek is still up 6-4, that one game hold. And I still think this could be a draw, just in the opposite direction of what I was saying. Miniorek taking the early spy win, and Adafheyesh finding one later on in the set.
Yeah. Courtyard's a place. This is one of my favorite venues for no particular reason. Let's do it in
You're an old
3, 2, 1. Planet. No, because I like time ads.
head.
No, because so I love sniping this venue. I think it's a lot easier to play behaviorally than people credit to, because it's also easy to camp. It's just an easy venue. It's more comfortable than easy is probably the best word, because if you get away with a hardtail here, if you're sneaking in the swap when their rotations are off, or if you get like a long purloin chain, Courtyard goes from being a very comfortable map to wondering what happened. Why is my bed that was so comfy now so lumpy?
It's full of nails. Ah, it's
I
full
mean,
of
a bed of you can still win a
reject.
bed of nails, right? Maybe not like a full night's sleep, but uh, you just shoot for the second fingerprint. It's fine. You got this.
Easy enough. Easy enough. You would never shoot me
General
an
is
idea
just
now.
bugged like 3 times, by the way. Screw this guy.
Well, if it's three
That
times,
was
then surely it's not the spy, right?
that
Because
was
the spy
that was
wouldn't go back.
disgusting by the ambassador bugged General. That's what just happened.
And now General is, of course, had statues. So we'll see how Adafheyesh reacts to that fact.
Yeah, I have a suspicion, because this happens in almost any SpyParty game, that General is going to do some really stupid things that, yeah. he's either going to do nothing for the rest of this game, or he's going to go pick up Briefcase. And of course he went to pick up Briefcase.
I think this is too much.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's too much.
this is so much that you're like, this surely this can't be the spy.
Meanwhile, Miniorek has no mission completion, by the way. 85% of the flirt is healthy, but it's Courtyard. You can finish in 90 seconds if you need to. This is just a funny game if you're just watching this one particular AI. This is the 85% flirt from General, by the way.
And we do have a fake contact from General, still in conversation for it. It was a very
I'm on,
good fake.
I'm on to you.
I don't think that contact left off any lowlights. We see
I
one
was
lowlight in the aftermath, but I don't know if that was for the contact.
I was testing recently on Courtyard. If all you watch is window visits and fingerprints and nothing else, I was shooting the spy 80% of the time. I wish I was kidding. And statues. I just counted every time somebody went to windows, picked up a statue or picked up a fingerprint, and then just was highlighting the spy consistently, and then they'd purloin with 30 seconds left. I was like,
You've
this
given away
is.
all your secrets.
Well, no, I'm not playing anymore. Genuinely, AI do not
Ooh.
go to Windows half as much as you think they do.
The reject was on the other side of the venue here, but we still
This is
need
really
one more
powerful.
mission.
The issue is
Oh,
it's
look at that
Courtyard.
reject from
Reject, and they're
Ponytail here.
highlights. They're not general. He's up against the wall, but it is a couple people who have been
Finding
highlighted.
this bug maybe with the take. No, there's no
There's not
take
gonna
yet.
be a take. It's another
There's not gonna
reject.
be a
It's gonna
take.
need to go into overtime, but we have to trigger the overtime.
Oh, gross! An immediate shot.
I hate the wrong arm there. I think we get shot for the cane bug anyways, but it looked worse. And
Yeah, I don't think there was any way we were getting away with that one.
uh yeah, I think this game is a lot more interesting. Curiously, if the purloin is taken,
We may have
typically
a better
you want
chance. Yeah.
longer reject chains are good in a as a heuristic in a general sense. But we needed that cover. We needed the zoom in on the list, and then the panic that ensues while we're just sticking our
Well, it was an
hand on
interesting thought
the
to go for
ambassador's
the two
backside.
hardtail courtyard, but I think going the statues might have been the better option in the end there.
With after the purloin,
Yeah, well, go from rejecting purloin when the sniper's on the other side into statues, and then
yeah,
when you get that reject chain, suddenly clocks the clock is hanging. 3 different people have been to statues and rejected this purloin. Like that is going to be a difficult one to suss out, and it's just a better chance than a bug.
Yeah, it's the bug is actually the more respectful play, which is wild.
Mhm.
Because if you're Miniorek, you are under the impression the majority of purloins on Courtyard are just going to be seen no matter where the laser is. So,
I will remind us
uh,
that this is 18 guest courtyard, which is
I mean,
significantly
to
higher than a
to be
typical
fair,
courtyard game.
finally,
Mhm.
God, we talked so much old head stuff. We once did overtime where you got to choose the setup, and I handed my opponent 4 of 7 Courtyard with 21 guests, and they still took the sniper side.
And wow, really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Okay, let's do some more Courtyard in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because like the reputation of Courtyard, and like this is like the last game of a important set. Like this was Falcon Hit.
right. Oh,
And every
of
set
course it
against
was
him was
Falcon Head.
important. And yeah, but the reputation of Courtyard is that it is so comfortable for the sniper. And then you go look at the win rates, and it's less than Gallery. It's less than other 4 of 8 venues for the Spy, and you're like, huh, what happened? And at least for me, where it was like a stupidly high, like 70% or something for Spy, it's like the answer is just time ads. But um, Courtyard does have some like recent issues with like people now understand the pathing on Courtyard, which is wild. It also has some very old issues with like bouncing.
Banana bread.
This is have we had a real banana bread like this whole set? I feel like banana bread has been said less than any banana bread or any set I've seen in recent
We did
times.
just take the
And
standing bug after the contact there, and we go back near the ambassador, which is super interesting because we were just talking about this with General last time. Like, there's no way, the spy would go right next to the ambassador they just bugged, right? But that is the case here, and maybe that is an intentional choice by Adafheyesh.
I
We
like
do get,
statue to statue right now. We got
yeah.
screwed over by our SD, which, to be fair, has given us a flirt. Adafheyesh agrees with me. We need to finish these statues, and we need to do it in a way that it isn't with like 30 seconds left, and we're just kind of like making the sniper nervous.
Mhm.
Statue to statue here
Like
makes
another
total
statue.
sense to me,
I would
but
like a
doesn't make
third
sense to a
statue.
sniper, right?
I would like a third statue. Come on. No! No! We
Oh,
bumped the plant. Was that visible?
it was on camera. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, and the
Many are
zoom in
zooming in
on the
on the
plant.
leave. No.
So top
That's just
suspect is the
tragic.
plant, but we are second on that list. Just based
Banana
off the
bread.
mechanical, and this should be a shot.
That's tragic. But wait.
We're not
Wait, there's
dead.
no shot yet. We're not dead yet.
We saw this at the
The
end
bug
of.
hasn't been caught. Even though Miniorek is so sure about us, the bug hasn't been caught. We picked the
Okay.
last flirt up. Is there going to be a shot?
Immediately doing the flirt. We have no intention of giving Miniorek more time.
Miniorek, despite I think knowing, holds because the bug is just so clean after that fake contact.
Standing bugs
Standing bug's good.
are good. We're the
Standing
only
bugs are
two
good.
people who think this, OP. But standing bugs are good.
Yeah, we are definitely the only two people who think this. There's no one else who thinks that.
No one else thinks it. No. Banana bread covering bug is like
It's a
if
classic.
yeah, we already have the book of Spy Party, so I gotta be careful here. But like, if a book was written on how to play Spy Party, like number one on the clever spy playlist, because it's not clever, it's just banana bread bug. It's use the thing that is loud and makes people want to look away from you, to cover the thing that you definitely don't want to be looked at.
And that does mean that we are all tied up. We've been talking about how Miniorek has been controlling this set for the entire time, but that was off of one spy win. That was off of one spy win, and
Yeah.
Adafheyesh has held it down for the rest of this time, and now has finally struck back. And what are we at? 7-7?
Yeah, it's a classic
Or 6-6?
soccer, a football. 1 point is not a lead.
I believe it's
And
6-6 because we have Taken after this, right?
yeah, we have we did the Aquarium and Courtyard. Are our two singles we've seen so far. Yeah, 1 point's not a lead, and we saw this in Winter Cup. I was kind of alluded to it. Miniorek like had one highlight on gallery, and then the most suspicious thing happens, and then he doesn't shoot for it. Like he was zoomed in on the reject for the purling, and here he's, as far as we can tell, like zoomed in on a bush to like signal that he knew who the spy was, and then just didn't shoot. Like it's just these hit yourself sort of situations. Unfortunately for Adafheyesh, I think despite the fact the score is tied, uh, going into these last two venues, Miniorek has generally throughout the set looked more comfortable and more likely to get spy wins. Modern is an interesting place to do it too. We can talk about more on the venue in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I know you mentioned that Miniorek has been looked more comfortable and more likely to get spy wins, but that doesn't mean that he actually has.
No.
You can say something about it's who's more likely to end up getting a spy win in these next 4 games, sure, but Adafheyesh has held remarkably well after that first sniper loss.
Okay, Opie, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and it's a leading question, so don't be tricked. What do you think your sniper win rate should be in this tournament on Modern?
In this tournament,
Yeah, like if you just played like a ton of Modern, but like not back to back against the same opponent, like just like what's your win rate on sniper?
in this field, 65%, 70%.
And what are you hoping for spy?
I like Moderna's spy. I think that Moderna is one of my better venues, so I would like to see 40 to 45%, something like that.
And this is the trap you've fallen into. Is I feel like this is how everybody thinks they're Modern, where they're like, yeah, I can win 40% and snipe 70%, and you're like, that's 110%, sir.
Well, yeah,
Something has
that's
gone
assuming that
wrong
you're better
because
than your opponent.
yeah, everybody thinks that their spy on Modern is lit, is on flick, whatever the kids are saying.
On flick? Did you
And
just say on flick?
I don't fleek.
It's fleek, and that's very, very old by this point.
Based. What do you want?
You really are an old head. Oh my goodness.
I can't play this game because it hurts my wrists. Yeah, we have 2 half missions, and Miniorek. This isn't what he picked. Yeah, for real, no cap. There we go. Yeah, Miniorek didn't pick this. I think this is Adafheyesh's pick. No, that can't be true. This is Miniorek's pick. So he thinks that he's cool. He thinks that he's a 70-40 Modern player. But you can't all be above average Modern players. In the same way that like everybody thinks they're good at Courtyard. It's like no. I mean, Miniorek is actually a 70-40 player because he's slightly better than the field. But it's just one of those venues that like feels super like you should be winning it. Because the spy feels comfortable and sniper feels comfortable.
What you're saying is that it's a very skill-expressive venue. When you're playing
and
against
everybody
someone,
thinks they're skilled.
when you're playing against someone who you perceive as less strong than you, in general, you end up feeling like yes, I can win Modern because I can make things happen on spy and I can lock down the sniper, and that's honestly why I like Modern so much as a 4 of 8 venue, because it has that feeling. It's why I like Ballroom so much, because it really is such a test of skill.
Purloin done, by the way. We got 3 missions.
This might be a fingerprintable book, by the way. On this book? Yes, I think so. It must be, right? No, never mind. I thought there certainly would be. But maybe we're just trying to go to books to make sure that we were not seen purloining. And, sneakily, we've gotten to a point in this game where Miniorek is way ahead. We are not a highlight. We just need one more print to win. And Ambassador is moving away from the briefcase.
We are going to just chill right next to the briefcase. We had the book as
that's
another
super
option,
suspicious.
too. Well, no. We can just go return the book. We can just go put it in blue or red if this
That was actually incorrect etiquette based on the briefcase, but I'm not sure if it matters.
Stop. Remember that time that I said that Miniorek had a better chance of winning spy games?
Looks like you were right. Miniorek finds the spy. Right as Adafheyesh finally ties it up, Miniorek taking another. That's a dagger if you're Adafheyesh.
Yeah, and congratulations on winning a game as Disney. You didn't do the impossible, which is get away with the bug, but uh, stupid character. Yeah, Miniorek takes the lead here, takes it back to be more precise, and it was just a really solid game. We kind of talked over it, because I like thinking that Modern is just easy gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We did talk over it, but it wasn't anything special as a game.
yeah,
It was just really well executed. We get an early print, we find a good timing for this purloin where we're not really a suspect. We go to a book to just give the sniper a better opportunity to forget us. Then we pick up that last print. We've got our contact, our flirt done. Everything was just solid, well executed. Nothing really outstanding, but more than enough to win in this particular instance.
yeah. I mean,
And time is all you need.
yeah, and he didn't do a single time ad. What a guy.
Impressive.
More Modern. 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And we are playing the slowest character on the
Ugh.
biggest menu.
Ugh. Like, I understand doing Orange Sorry, because she's like the best character in the game. Even when the venues get big, she's still pretty good. Playing Pearls, though? Yuck.
Green test for 31% as our ST does come to us and then leaves for us. That's nice. We could go to bar to follow up on another flirt here and potentially maybe even get a print as well. I would not be surprised to see us head on in for that one. I think we're
This
too far away
is
from
not how you
flirt
flirt.
though.
Yeah, this is just how you get a highlight and a fingerprint.
Yeah, but I think Adafheyesh thought that there just wasn't enough space between the ambassador and Teal there. Although I think there was, because bar is one of those places that is relatively forgiving as far as pads go.
Yep. Just like real life. I feel like when you're like at a
We have to go for
bar,
this
like
briefcase.
you like turn sideways, just so you can like get more people at the bar. Uh, it
Well,
makes sense.
this is the kind of thing that you do, and AIs do this kind of thing all the time, where they get both prints, one off bar, one off the briefcase that
Yeah.
was left at bar. But it of course you know that the sniper knows, right?
It has to be part of your game plan. You have to have double print in your repertoire, otherwise you're not just gonna be completing fingerprints ever. Uh, but like it's one of those things. It's a treat. Maybe like
Every once in a while.
once every 3 sets, maybe you're like, yeah, I'll sneak in double fingerprint because it's here.
Yeah, and this is one of those things. And going back to talk about Slappy Davis a little bit again, actually, kind of came up with this idea of wait, was it you that came up with this idea of threat versus suspicion?
Those are words I've said before. Yes.
I know someone wrote an article about it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that was you. That was you. So, but Slappy Davis likes to talk about it a lot because
Yeah.
Slappy Davis takes all of the best ideas and just loves talking about them, which is my favorite thing about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you came up with this idea of threat versus suspicion, where this fingerprint play, getting double fingerprints, that's very threatening. You've gotten a lot of mission progress very, very quickly, but it's not very suspicious because it's mostly AIs that do that, honestly.
It's mostly guys who do it, and also, in fact, to not do it is an etiquette break. If there's a
Right.
briefcase that's under your feet and you're not picking it up, uh, in the majority of situations, an AI will do that because that is what they are programmed to do.
That is indeed
We have
correct.
2 missions. We're in a pretty similar place to where Miniorek is. The issue is we don't have the potential. We saw Miniorek have books in hand. Saw them have other half missions. We saw them
Standing on
have the
top of briefcase
purloin,
here,
and more
that's a
importantly, the
little bit.
ambassador. Well, we already had the fingerprint. We're just kicking it off. This is just etiquette break, and I guess
Why?
making yeah.
Interesting. Why are we getting another print here? Is it to? I
Set
don't
up a bug.
understand. I
But we
what?
have a drink in hand, so it's like
Well,
slightly
like
awkward
I
anyways.
I understand the idea of maybe getting a third print to like
Ambassador's an absolute
reduce,
jerk, and we're pearls, so we've wasted an actual minute on this whole play.
and we step over the briefcase again. This is illegal. You can't be doing this. You have to go around the briefcase model. There is
Oh,
a hitbox there for pathing.
it's one of those things I only cared about against like 2 opponents. Urine would shoot me for it like 5 years ago, and I'm like, what? You hit 10,000 games? That's cheating.
Yeah, it looks like this game just we're not finishing. I don't know.
I mean, I'm fine with a non-finish. I just haven't seen a single AI I want to shoot because we haven't said banana bread.
We go for this bug and
I
it's
found a spy
so
I want to
bad.
shoot.
I mean, the bug itself wasn't actually that bad, but the wiggly path afterwards was complete confirmation, and we already were pretty high suspect, I think, for what we like. I'm just not sure what Adafheyesh was hoping to accomplish with this idea to go for the briefcase the third time, get a third print. Because I was saying I understand the idea to try to like say, oh, look at me, I'm getting a third print. That's not spy like, and I was especially on a character like this. But you did it in such a way that it's so spy-like to just go in next to the ambassador, force them out of the conversation, and then grab the briefcase, right? So you've
When we
done
already
the
had two.
unspy. Well, while
You
we
could,
already had two prints, you've done the unspy-like thing in the most spy-like way possible.
there was a line to do like bug, like the briefcase, and then use the excuse that you're near the ambassador to do the bug, and then presumably contact. But we had a drink in our left hand, and I like most of the worlds that I see that bug working involve us using our left hand. So, um, I don't want to trash any player really, but this has been about the worst like uh bugging I've seen at a like super high level. Like these are not been testing for Miniorek, and it's often
Well,
just because we have 5 seconds left. Like it's not
Miniorek's bugs
really
haven't been terribly impressive for the most part in this. We've seen two good bugs, and they've both led to the spy wins that we've seen, like two of the
yeah.
spy wins we've seen. And then the rest of these bugs have not been exactly the strongest I've seen out of either of
Yeah,
these
a lot of them
players. You're
are like
right.
pressed by time. It's like, yeah, I have 5 seconds. I need to get somewhere to also do a fourth mission here. It's like it, but it's just like it's not been a pretty set. This is Scrappy.
Yeah, for sure.
Scrappy Davis isn't the guy that we've been talking about all set. I want
For
I
no
want some
reason.
slap.
I don't.
Want some
Why have we been talking
because
about
we're just
Slappy all
old
set?
heading. This is what you let. Like if you watch any like esport, they'll let the two old guys show up and just talk about whatever because that's how they did commentary like 15 years ago.
Mhm.
We're this is what's gonna look like every time they invite us on mic, Opie, and we're gonna get used to it. I want to see some slappy play here on Tayen. Miniorek has taken the lead, but we can tie it up, I believe, for Adafheyesh. So
Yes,
let's do it.
we can see a draw potentially for Adafheyesh here.
And you can be right.
I can be
Let's
right,
go.
maybe.
3,
Three,
2,
two.
1. Vominos. You can have the last count. I'll give you that, little
Okay.
bro.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well,
Ooh,
that's what the
we
kids are saying these days.
cheesed.
That's how you get on Flick. Is you call people little bro.
We go straight into center statues after a flirt cheese. We might be trying to rush this game down.
Good venue for it. You haven't done a single rush this whole set. You're on clock. You have a
Swap.
lead. This makes sense. I mentioned you, Yerand. Get out of here. I mentioned Yerand and Falconhead. You've mentioned Yeesh. You've mentioned me. I think we're one crazy Kaylee away from hitting every single
No, you
with
gotta.
the whole bingo board
We
blackout.
haven't talked about warning track yet.
You mentioned Piers at some point.
No, you did.
Maybe
I
in the
never
pregame.
mentioned yours.
That was
And you're
wrestler.
in the
That was in
red.
the pregame. This is a rush. We should probably be talking about the game. That's 3.5 missions
That is
done.
a lot of missions. Nice bug here after the contact. It was visible, but it's so hard. It's so hard on Tayen, especially when it's something that's this fast and only one more flirt. This is probably going to be the set.
Yeah, this is the whole set. We have the lead here. It's all we need to do is finish up this flirt. The concern I have for
Look at this
Miniorek
talk.
is we have had this laser just kind of sitting on us this whole game.
I think
It's
that's fine because this is a very natural resting point for this particular angle. But look at that talk to just make sure Adafheyesh knows we're not bugging the second time the ambassador comes back around. A little bit of a
should have
subtle idea, and no shot coming off. The rush is complete. Miniorek finds it, and that does mean that Miniorek will have the set at 9 points. We'll see if Adafheyesh can take a spy win back for a little bit of pride. Only one game back potentially, but
as a reminder. You said it would be tied, and I said it would be 10-6.
Mhm.
We can't
So,
get the tie anymore, so you're wrong. Ha ha ha.
but it still could
But
be 10-6.
I usually support the underdog. Right now, I just want to be right because you're like you're my favorite person to be right in a room with. I just want to be right. And I'm gonna be
Uh,
right in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
there were opportunities for me to be right. Adafheyesh sniper unfortunately fell through on
Y-
me.
I'll say this, Opie. You're not you're not wrong often. I just wish you were right more.
That's an interesting statement to make. 49% on our first flirt here. Fingerprint on center statues, something to look out for potentially. Very nice shoji setup here with the two front
And in
ones
the
being
red.
different. Contact early on, only one low light made, although that low light is someone who does go to center statues.
Yeah, and this is one of the problems with SpyParty, is because we do this back and forth flow. You're on Tayen, you're second to Spy, and your opponent just beat you with a rush game. Every instinct in your body says, "Oh, that's a good idea. I should rush." But the sniper also has gone, "Oh yes, we're in a rush set currently." And so you can't pull it off. If we try and do like inspects
Would
and
that bug have
fingerprints, which is what
worked,
we're
by the
kind of
way?
lined up for.
I'm so interested in that if we had like Twitch, if that bug would have worked because we were silhouetted by the shoji. You can counteract there being a silhouette by hovering over the character you're trying to see the outline of, but our silhouettes were covering up, and I don't think Miniorek was actually doing the hover over us tactic to see our outline. So I think maybe we could have gone for like a really interesting bug right there with our briefcase and the master coming back to us.
I and this is again old head. Anything I say about my own play is just 3 years old at this point. I never really considered the shoji doing anything as a spy. I just did whatever I wanted, and then the shoji just helped. Uh, but it is curious that like yes, maybe a bug that wouldn't work usually is better because of the shoji.
Interesting. We picked up the same briefcase twice, and of course it's empty the second time because we can't get the same. Can't get that. Um,
Okay.
some hovering here.
Want to see that? Want to see that tech that you were concerned about? Two people at a bookcase together makes it much harder to see the microfilm animations.
It's already
But we
hard
see,
to see as it is with this angle.
yeah.
Like this is completely
Uh,
invisible if Adafheyesh does it right now, but I don't think that that's our plan for this game.
oh, absolutely not, because you're gonna go to the other bookcase. Fool. Sped Monkey saying it in chat. I don't like these players. They don't do enough goofy stuff as spy. Agreed. We got one rush. We're doing a fingerprint game. It's not
And
even
we're
silent.
a highlight now.
We did actually have double hardtail courtyard, so that was fun.
An attempt anyway.
Yeah. You can't.
Bug.
This,
It's got to be a
this is
bug
high
here.
level spy.
It
Oh, come
takes,
on.
but I think that was visible. Surely. Shot. Where's the
Three,
shot?
three, three, two,
Oh
one.
man, very nicely done from Adafheyesh, setting up in
Yeah,
the exact right spot.
it's just we let the spies decided they wanted to do missions and they won games, but they
Yeah,
decided this
at the
at the
very
very
end.
end of the set. You start off with Redwoods. You could have done this on Redwoods.
Doing things is good, noob. I've always been of this opinion.
Yeah, I like doing things, but I like also doing things that don't actually result in the missions going up. So, I mean, I like time ads. But yeah, they did missions. They both had good bugs, which
And
is
neither of us were correct.
neither of us were correct. I think this is a win for chat. I think chat wins.
Chat wins, and also
They got to
Miniorek
see.
wins 9-7.
Yeah, this is the first of this group. Miniorek will take a minor lead. Adafheyesh, honestly, with a 9-7 loss, uh, is still in a healthy position. They will need to get some W's, but they haven't ruined their tiebreaker. Um, really, for both players, I feel like this is if they're going to win this tournament, this needs to be a ramp-up game.
Yeah.
The sniping looked good from Miniorek. Sniping looked solid from Adafheyesh. But we just need to see both these players. De-rust isn't the right word. I mean, they're two of the more active players, really ever, at least in the last few years. But you don't want the first game of your group to be the best game anyways. You want the best game to be the finals when you're playing against Rov, because it's gonna be Rov, and that you didn't do anything to solve that problem. So I think I think these players are in a fine position, and
I mean, I'll play Rob in
congratulations
the
to
finals.
Miniorek.
It's fine.
Yeah, what truly matters is I'm wrong. And it's often the case. With that, for everybody who's came and joined us here today, thank you for doing so. For anybody who's watching on the YouTube 6 months from now, hi. Leave a comment, like the video. Feel free to subscribe. But I've been PoNoob. This is Opie. Thank you for dealing with our shenanigans, and most importantly, thank you, Wrestler in the back room.
Fare thee well.